Good morning, class 8 students. Today I am continuing heat. So in this revision of heat portion, today first we are going to start good and bad conductors. Metals and stone are considered good conductors since they can speedily transfer heat, whereas materials like wood, paper, air and cloth are poor conductors of heat. These conductive properties are rated based on a coefficient which is measured relative to silver. So here there is a diagram. Here I have given a list of good conductors and bad conductors or poor conductors, that is insulators. So silver, copper, aluminium, brass, iron, lead, stainless steel, all are good conductors, and vacuum, air, body fat, cork, water, glass, styrofoam, these are all poor conductors of heat. The substances through which heat is conducted easily from one region to other are known as good conductors, and the substances through which heat is not conducted easily from one region to other are known as bad conductors. Metals like iron, brass, copper, silver, etc. are usually the examples of good conductors of heat. On the other hand, wood, plastic, air, water, etc. are the examples of bad conductors of heat. Now, there is another diagram in this slide. This diagram represents the experiments to determine good and bad conductors. See the diagram properly. A copper wire gauge is there, Bunsen burner is there, and a flame. Two cases are there. One time flame is on the copper gauge and the another time flame is below the copper gauge. So a copper wire gauge is held slightly above a Bunsen burner. If now a burning matchstick is held above or below the wire gauge, we shall find that the flame is only on the above and below the wire gauge only respectively. The reason behind this is that there is a definite ignition temperature, that is burning temperature of every substance for burning. When the flame burns above the wire gauge, the copper being very good conductor of heat immediately conducts heat through it, and the gas below it cannot attain the ignition temperature for burning. So there is no flame below the wire gauge in this case. The fact that the flame burns only below the wire gauge when burning matchstick is held below it can be explained in a similar way. Next question, why ice is kept covered with sawdust? Since air is trapped between the particles of sawdust, it prevents outside air from melting the ice. Hence, sawdust is used to cover it with while storing them. Sawdust acts as an insulator, slowing ice melting. The air filled in the fine pores of sawdust is an insulator of heat. This air doesn't allow heat from outside to pass to the ice, thereby preventing its melting. Now see the diagram. Ice is there. Obviously, it is covered with sawdust so that no heat can pass through it and it will not melt quickly. That's why ice is kept covered with sawdust, because sawdust is bad conductor of heat, and so when the ice is covered with it, the heat from the surrounding air cannot reach the ice and prevents it from melting. Why the handle of a kettle is wrapped with cane? The handle of a kettle made of metals are wrapped with cane or plastic because due to fire metals get heated soon, and if you lift it up, then you may end burning your hands. In the case of cane or plastic, they don't get heated soon, and if you lift it up, then you won't burn up your hands. The handle of a kettle is wrapped with cane. So this is the reason. It is because the handle being made of a metal which is a good conductor of heat gets heated quickly and it becomes difficult to hold it with bare hand. On wrapping with cane, a bad conductor of heat, cane is a bad conductor of heat. That's why on wrapping with cane, the heat from the handle cannot reach our hand and we can clasp it. See the diagram? A kettle with handle which is wrapped with cane has been given. Why in winter we wear woolen clothes? We wear woolen clothes in winter because air is a poor conductor of heat and woolen clothes do not allow the transfer of body heat to the environment and keep us warm. The wool is structured so there is air trapped inside. Air is a very good insulator. So you can say in winter we wear woolen clothes because wool is a bad conductor of heat. Besides this, the texture of these clothes encloses innumerable air pockets which prevent the body heat from losing to the colder surroundings and hence keep the body warm. It should be noted that woolen clothes are not warm themselves. They are bad conductors of heat. Now, thermoflask. A vacuum flask is an insulating storage vessel that greatly lengthens the time over which its contents remain hotter or cooler than the flask's surroundings. Invented by Sir James Dewar in 1892, the vacuum flask consists of two flasks placed one within the other and joined at the neck. A thermos flask or thermoflask, also called a Dewar flask, is a special kind of bottle in which hot liquids like tea and coffee remain hot and cold items like ice or cold water remain cold for a long time. It is also popularly known by other names such as a vacuum flask or simply a thermos. See the diagram. A thermoflask diagram has been given. Glass walls with silvered surfaces, spring centering device, container, vacuum space, rubber support, hot or cold liquid inside this flask. So the thermoflask is a device which keeps the hot and cold body, respectively hot and cold, for long by preventing heat exchange of the body with surroundings by the processes of conduction, convection and radiation as far as participle. Different parts of a thermoflask are shown in this figure. Thermoflask is a double-walled glass vessel. The space between the two walls is completely evacuated, that means empty and sealed. The vessel is placed over a spring and covered with metal or plastic cover. The mouth of the flask is closed by a cork or rubber stopper. The outer surface of the inner wall and the inner surface of the outer wall are coated with a fine layer of silver or mercury. How does thermoflask prevent transfer of heat by conduction, convection and radiation? The silver coating on the inner bottle prevents heat transfer by radiation, and the vacuum between its double wall prevents heat moving by convection. The thickness of the glass walls stops, or the thinness actually of glass walls stops heat entering or leaving the flask by conduction. See the diagram. How is a vacuum flask able to keep hot drinks hot and cold drinks cold? Or the mechanism of the flask. Number 1, there is a vacuum between two layers of glass or steel, which prevents heat leaving or entering by conduction. Number 2, the plastic or cork lid is an insulator and the screw top prevents convection currents escaping from the flask. Number 3, the walls have silvery surfaces which prevent heat emitting or entering by radiation. So you can see the space between two walls being evacuated. There cannot be any exchange of heat between the inside and outside of the vessel by the process of convection and conduction. The walls of the vessel being made of bad conductor of heat glass and the mouth of the vessel being closed by poor conducting cork or rubber stopper, conduction of heat is prevented. Silvering the walls minimizes the exchange of heat by radiation. So it is found that in a thermoflask there are arrangements for prevention of heat transmission by conduction, convection and radiation. Thus, a hot body remains hot or a cold body cold for long time inside a thermoflask. Thank you students. For any doubts or queries, please email me at sudeshna1.sma@outlook.com. Even you need to send your physical science assignment in this given email ID.